Welcome, everyone. I'm very happy to sit together here with Adam Molnar. He's a Shiatsu practitioner and a Neigong teacher from Hungary, and he is responsible for the morning exercises on the next Shiatsu summit in Vienna. So, welcome, Adam. I'm very happy to have you on board. I think Neigong and your approach is a very valuable contribution to the summit. But maybe not many people know the name Neigong or what is it about. So could you explain what is it?
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, Neigong just very shortly means inner skill or internal skill, but of course it means much more. And first people would think, okay, has practices or exercises, but basically Neigong is a process, and that's what it makes pretty exciting to me as well. You can understand throughout practice that actually it opens up a process in you. So all the practitioners who practice Neigong and Qigong practices that incorporated are going through a certain process that is already mapped out 1,000 years ago. And so many troubleshooting have been done. So this is one of the best positive beside Neigong that is troubleshooted. It's not like a currently made up practice, but millions and millions tried and bulletproofed. Like all the mistakes have been corrected, it had time to correct mistakes. So the direction is always the same, but all the bad routes has been cut off, and this is the path, actually, the path that you can cultivate in yourself is this process of growing. And the growing, what we mean by growing is, for me, how to become more efficient. And this is the key word for me. Like, what does it mean to become more efficient? Like, more efficient in a physical body and then more efficient in a chi body or an energetic body. And this is just the beginning. Then, according to Taoists, we have maybe 64 bodies and so much. But this is a linear path. And that's the beauty for me, because I'm a simple man and I like these laid out step-by-step processes when I can understand where I am at and where I go. So for me, basically, and in a nutshell, this is Neigong.
Hmm. It's very difficult to explain such a huge system in a very few sentences, but just to get a glimpse of it. But you're also a Shiatsu practitioner. So in which way did your Neigong practice help you in your Shiatsu? Yes, how did it support your Shiatsu practice?
Um, this support, actually, if I think back in hindsight, helped in many ways. First of all, it really helped me to connect with chi at all. Because I was scratching my head when we had our shiatsu uh, studies, that how to connect something that is so abstract called chi just because someone instructs you to connect it. To my mind, it didn't seem quite correct. So I tried to find a way, and then really quickly I arrived to this school that is existing now internationally and teaching Neigong. And of course, I met Masunaga's books and I read about Chinese medicine. And then really quickly, I read, okay, to understand Chinese medicine, you have to do Qigong. So, first of all, it helped me to connect the real Qi, what is real Qi in myself, like all the aspects of it. And the more I do the Neigong, the more subtle type of Qis become possible to connect with. And then I think this helps in shiatsu to treat more precisely, for example, or differentiate between layers, or understand where I am and where is the patient. So all sorts of, this is why I mean is for me it's a pretty hard question you asked. Where did it help? But there's another aspect. For example, how much root I have, how much energy I have. This, to me, must have been understood in the same context, in the same language, or the same, let's say, cultural language. Where does Shiatsu come from? Where does the Chinese medicine come from? So for me, Qigong and Neigong really helped to understand what does it mean to have a Dantian, because it's a word that everybody uses. And then what does it mean not to have a Dantian? Because I think that's also an interesting question. What does it mean to have an anchored energetic body? Because if the energetic body is not really anchored somewhere, it's pretty hectic, or it can be dispersed, or many other different scenarios. So to map these all out helped me immensely to understand the client better as well, but in reality and not in my imagination or not according to the textbook. And that's what most interested me always. What is the actuality? What is body really? What is the soft tissues like fascia and everything really? And what does it mean to have the sinew channels? And what does it mean to have the meridians? And what does it mean to have the congenital channels, like the pre-heaven channels, the extraordinary channels? So all these, for me, must have been put into a context to be able to grasp. I don't know. Is it a sufficient answer?
No, I think I can understand you very well. And so for my journey, it was similar, but I'm just at the beginning of my journey. And I can understand you because in Shiatsu, you always heard the term and hara, chi and hara. But most of the time, you're left alone with these terms. And then maybe sometimes you have the impression you feel something, but if you don't have, so what impressed me most in the Neigong world, that Qi is not a subtle experience. So this really made my mind like this. It's not a subtle experience. So Qi can be a very strong experience. And as long as I don't develop like my own energy to a certain level, I think in Shiatsu we are only able to go in resonance with the like more superficial parts of Qi. So there is a limitation also, I guess, in the treatment, which channels I want to touch, which energy fields I want to touch, because it's always the law of resonance. What I can feel inside of myself, I can feel in other people too. I would really strongly advise all Shiatsu practitioners should do more internal training of their choice. But what I like in this system very much, that it's so much linked to what we actually do with the bodies of our clients as well. So I think it's great. And also, you mentioned the efficiency. So the summit topic is chronic fatigue, burnout, and depression. Is there anything that the Neigong system can add to this question, or can people benefit from Neigong if they're in these states?
Yeah, and I think I assume we have not too much time, so I try to shorten it down somehow. Efficiency. Um, hmm, yeah. If, as you mentioned, if we are able to build up like more chi, let's say, or more energy, more storage of energy that can actually serve us throughout the day, throughout all the clients that we treat, the more we can stay to our center, the more we can stay to our like resonance, let's say, which is a connection or closer to your soul, or just centered. I can't complicate it more. So the more we treat and the more problems we meet, the more chi we will use up. And in the long term, we can end up overusing actually the chi until the point that we start to bring up energy from the reservoirs and then deplete the reservoirs. And I see that the problem is that it can happen throughout decades until it's too late. So, if I should talk about the burnout of therapists and then how to save it, then actually I would emphasize like building the storage more. And it's really closely connected to building a dantian, for example, because the dantian is, if nothing else, the lower dantian is the engine of the qi circulation in the primary channels. Just an example. So the stronger the lower dantian is, one of the function is that the stronger the anchor for the energetic system and the stronger the engine to push through. So if my body, for example, has more backup energy to do this, I'm more repellent. Like it's harder to get in. That's just one thing. So the stronger the magnet is, the stronger the magnetic field is, uh, I'm more safe, let's say. So I'm not favoring any of those mental exercises to protect therapists from burnout. It doesn't really work. I think maybe now I will receive so much messages, so forgive me. But building up more energy and become more centered and being able to still the mind more, I think is the main protector of burnout. And then, of course, more efficient you will become, the more chi you can build in your dantian and circling through the system. And the second component is blockages and the pathogens. The question of blockages and pathogens, and also the resonance, the matching resonances. So the stronger the therapist's body and the energetic system, the less likely they will take up patterns. I don't know your experience in this, but probably you have much, much more experience. What is the exchange between client and therapist or any social meeting when you pick up patterns and pathogens, and how strong your system is to push them out is the question for me. And this thing can really be helped by regulating with correct method, regulating the chi, purging, the ability to purge all those pathogens that's not mine or I'm not needing it, and then nourishing the system. So these three categories help in efficiency and probably the long-term success in practice and clinic.
That's a great explanation. So I'm really looking forward to have you in Vienna. We will have 4 sessions for every participants. So I think, yeah, that's nice to give them an impression of your work and at least to work a little bit on some foundations and to feel the system. And I hope they pick it up. So what are you looking forward to in Vienna? What do you like in Vienna?
I like everything about Vienna. Vienna feels to me a little bit like home, actually. And this is what we talked last weekend with some of the practitioners in Vienna. They also know Budapest, and they said Vienna and Budapest looks almost identical, except I think Vienna is taken care of much more, which I like. I like its architecture a lot. I like that actually you have a lot of angels everywhere in Vienna if you have open eyes. Um, yeah, yeah, and also I like the Danube is close, so you can have pretty nice parks. Um, yeah, that's it basically. And the water, the drinking water. That's
Yeah,
something that I should mention, that all who visits Vienna, they shouldn't buy these packed
yeah,
mineral waters because they can have the best drinking water in Europe
that's true.
coming from the mountains.
That's true. So thanks a lot, Adam, for taking your time and really, yeah, looking forward to see you in Vienna. So cheers.
Thank you very much, Mike, for your invitation. I'm looking forward to.